What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Scary Sundays. And this week's topic is something that I've been going through a little bit this week that I think will be relatable to a lot of you guys. And that is believing in your dreams, believing in your future that you want to create for yourself before anybody else does, and before your current reality might be showing you evidence that that dream is possible or likely to happen. And it reminds me of this really powerful quote by Steve Jobs that I love, which is that somebody was like asking him in one of the later interviews in his life how he, conceived of Apple and how he achieved all of his success. And he said something really profound, which was that you can only connect the dots looking backwards. Meaning, once somebody is successful, it's very easy to look at their life and map out a really beautiful, logical trajectory as to how they got there. And I use successful loosely here because I don't want anybody to watch this and think that I mean necessarily the conventional measures of success, like making a lot of money or fame or getting a lot of recognition. Whatever successful means to you, whatever it is that thing that you're trying to create in your life, or manifest in your life, whether internally or externally. And it can be very easy to look at somebody who has the results that you may want and think, oh, okay, like what did they do, and how can I, follow those steps, or how can I have a roadmap or a plan to get to where I'm trying to go. And of course, it's important to have a roadmap. It's important to learn from your experiences, learn from your mistakes, so that you can get smarter about how you work and allocate your time and energy. But the thing about innovation and creativity, the thing about really creating something new, is that usually there is no roadmap. That's why it's new. That's why it's creative. That's why it's innovative, and that's why oftentimes the people who are rewarded most are the real innovators. Regardless of the field you look at, whether it's technology or art or music, like some of the artists that we love most are the ones that just had such a unique sound and such a conviction about that sound that they started a whole new wave. And then maybe after that artist, a whole bunch of people came and tried to copy them, or like hop on their sound or hop on that wave. But it really takes a high level of conviction in what you're doing and an ability to believe that the thing that you're doing is valuable, is meaningful, an ability to believe that that voice inside of you that's telling you to go in a certain direction should be listened to, even when there's no evidence in the external world showing up that what you're doing is valuable, or that people are going to like it, or whatever it is. And I've definitely been experiencing this because I took a break to step away from releasing music. And the thing about releasing music when you're an artist is that when you're regularly releasing music, it gives you this sort of psychological momentum, because you're constantly getting a little bit of validation from the world, from your fan base, because you release music every month or every 6 weeks or whatever the cadence is, and you get that little boost, and then it keeps you going, and then you have that energy and that confidence to continue. But when you really take a step back to figure out what you're trying to say as an artist, and figure out what you really want to contribute that's unique and new, that only you can contribute, sometimes you have to kind of step away from that, and you have to find ways of keeping yourself motivated and engaged that are internally focused. And that's been like the whole challenge for me, and a learning point this year. After releasing my album Chrysalis in March and getting a lot of love from you guys on that, then making the conscious decision to retreat a little bit, like even though I've been active on Instagram with these videos and like the podcast and stuff, but not really putting out a lot of music, and also not honestly not really playing that many shows, to give myself the grace and the time to figure out what it is that I'm trying to create. And now the music that I'm making, that I'm working on, I really really believe in it, but it's like weeks and months going by of me working on it without getting any sort of external feedback, and also having those doubts creeping in that, oh, is this all going to be like for nothing? Like, am I just like delusional and maybe no one's going to like this? And I think this applies to anybody who's doing something uh, innovative, whether you're an artist or a musician or you're starting a company, or like whatever it is. um, or even if you're taking up a spiritual practice, like in Buddhism, they say you need great faith. You need great faith, not in a god or anything that you read in a book or anything, but you need great faith in the practice, in the process, in order to continue to commit yourself to it. And especially when you're not necessarily seeing results. And what I've realized is that the thing that really helps me keep that faith in my own process, and the thing that really helps me keep that conviction that what I'm doing is valuable, is twofold. The first part is just really sitting with myself and checking in and getting still and quiet enough that I can really access that intuition and that inner voice, that internal locus of control that is independent of the opinions of others. And I find that when I'm not doing that, like when I'm not meditating regularly, or I'm spending too much time on social media looking at what other people are doing, other artists, whatever it is, or just even like reading too many books and getting too influenced by other people's stories and other people's paths, it's a lot easier to lose sight of what that inner vision is that I have for my life or my creative project, what I'm trying to birth into the world. And it's also a lot easier to lose confidence in it, because I'm not going to find evidence of my creation succeeding anywhere out there in the world if I look at other people's stories, because by definition what I'm doing hasn't been created yet. Like, it's my my internal creation. And again, apply that to whatever that might be for you. And so then it can be very easy to start to compromise on your vision and be like, oh well, this is my vision, but also like, this person did it that way and that worked, so maybe I can kind of do it that way. And then before you know it, you kind of lose sight of what that internal vision was. Now, of course, there is a shadow side where if you're just like never paying attention to anyone else and you're just like so absorbed in your own thing, then you can kind of like not be living in reality, and you can lose sight of whether or not your vision is actually bringing value to people. But insofar as you are coming from a place of service, and trying to help the world in some way, whether you're an artist or whatever it is, like, as you guys know, for me, my whole purpose behind everything I do is to help people belong to themselves more and feel more safe to be themselves. And that permeates the way that I communicate with people in my relationships and the way that I work and the projects that I choose to work on. So far as you have some sort of internal mission that is bigger than yourself, I think it's really important to take that time to get still and be alone and really figure out what your vision is and protect that vision from the inevitable influences that may cause you to doubt it. And I think the second part of the process that I'm trying to implement, especially during times like this week where I've just been experiencing a lot of doubt, which happens from time to time for sure for me, because I am so sensitive to fucking everything in my environment. But the other piece that really helps me is constantly paying attention to whether or not the process is fulfilling, and whether or not I am embodying my intention of what I want the creation in the future or the art in the future to do, the type of value I want to bring in the future, whether or not I'm embodying those values now during the process. So what that means is, if I want to make great music and art that is going to help people feel like they can be themselves, is going to inspire people to, look at my work and say, wow, that's super unique. Like, that's somebody who's doing something really unique. I can also access that. I also have that in me. I also have that inner artist in me. And I can start to believe in myself and cultivate that. Uh, if the process of creating that art in the moment is not enjoyable to me, and I'm holding my satisfaction hostage until a future date when I make a bunch of money or get famous or whatever it is, then I think that's a pretty and if I can't find joy and satisfaction in the process, and the process does not lend itself to me embodying that value of really belonging to myself and expressing myself the way that I want to, then that's a pretty sure sign that either I'm on the wrong path because I'm not enjoying the process, or my mindset towards the process has shifted away from service and how I can be engaged in the moment and towards what I can get out of it. So I'm always just trying to be vigilant of that, especially when I start to have those doubts, like I have been having a little bit this week. Like, I've just been kind of like the last couple of days really been feeling like, damn, like I don't know if like what if this doesn't work? What if I'm just wasting my time? Like what if like all these this mental chatter, that the meditation, sitting with yourself and meeting those internal voices with compassion, and also checking in and making sure that the day-to-day process of what you're doing is fulfilling you and is allowing you to live that purpose now. Those two pieces really, really help me. And so I just want to share that with you guys because, I've been getting, actually been getting a lot of messages from people, from y'all that are like people that are making art, and just sometimes like I feel like, yeah, I'm very flattered, but sometimes I feel like, some of you guys, you message me and you're like asking me, questions that, I'm like also struggling with, and that's the beautiful thing about this community that we're creating together, and that I feel so fortunate to have you guys part of this community, is that you feel safe to bring that stuff to me, and I always want to stress that I'm going through it too. Like I'm fucking winging it just like you guys, and we all are. And if anybody makes you believe that they're not, they're full of shit. So yeah, that's the Scary Sundays for Day, and I mean that's the whole point of this series, right? It's just like getting on here and just sharing like what I'm fucking struggling with, so that you guys know like it's just a fucking journey and we're here to support each other. So I'd love to hear what you think about this topic of believing in your vision before the world sees it. Agreements, disagreements. And the last thing I'll say is this is like a skill, like the ability to be really confident in what you want to bring to the world, the ability to believe in what the value of what you're doing, and to believe that it will be rewarded financially, whatever it might be, whatever's important to you. It's not like something that some people have and other people don't. And I really want to stress that it's a skill, it's a practice, it's a habit. It's a habit of waking up in the morning, watching the part of your mind that immediately wants to go into self-doubt and judgment of yourself and shame and unworthiness and victim mentality and comparison, and compassionate, like having the awareness in the moment to watch those thoughts and shift the narrative in the moment and start to rewrite more empowering thoughts, more skillful thoughts. And what I've realized is, if you don't have the belief that what you're doing is going to work, it's very difficult to work hard at it. It's very difficult to be engaged and motivated because a part of you doesn't believe it's going to work. So you're just going to sabotage yourself and you're going to be lazy. And I totally speak from experience here, but I can honestly say that it's a skill, because my confidence in myself and my craft has never been more independent of the external world's validation. And that is purely something that I've developed over time. Like I used to be so insecure about fucking everything and I still have my insecurities that I'm working through. But I really want to stress that, because it's just like sometimes we see people and they appear so confident, and some people, yeah, like they're just were parented really well or whatever, but I think for the most part, it's just an internal skill that can be developed through meditation, through checking in with yourself and making sure that you're enjoying being engaged in the process, and through rewriting the narrative with more positive thoughts. So just want to share that talk with you guys today, and also want to share some exciting news, which is that I'm going to be starting a Patreon page soon. Um, and it's going to be, for those of you who don't know, Patreon is a platform where artists can have a profile and basically get paid on a subscription basis from their fans. And there's different tiers. So I'm going to have 3 different tiers of payment, and they're going to offer different levels of benefits and things that you guys will get. Obviously, there'll be music involved in that, but there's also going to be more coaching related things, insights, guided meditations that I'm going to be leading, talks, all with the purpose of helping you guys and helping myself and helping all of us feel more safe, feel more belonging within ourselves, so that we can walk through the world with a true sense of self-esteem and belief that what we want to create is possible. So just be on the lookout for that. I'm going to be posting about it here, but also I'll post about it on my mailing list. So for those of you who are a part of that, you'll get it. If you want to sign up, the link's in my bio. And yeah, that's it for today. See you guys next week. Peace.